I can't tell you how excited I am for this conversation. You've been my poster boy, I go around talking your story. So many people say, here is one example of somebody who dreamt up something and actually made it happen, right? So today's podcast, we have very special guests, Himakar Saraju and Nirmala, who have very successfully transitioned from being corporate executives in Bombay, living this Jagana Bagana life to Madikeri, to Coorg, and living that wonderful life that you're seeing. So they are homestay owners of a beautiful property, which they're going to talk about a little more. Right? So Himakar, I'm so excited. Are you excited too to share your story?
Absolutely. And it's a real pleasure to be on with you here and, share a bit of our journey, how we got here actually.
Yes.
I'm really excited to talk about it too. And so is my wife.
Yes. And I'm sure this is going to be so inspirational for so many people because, we hear a lot of people saying, okay, fire, and I want to retire early, and I want to do farming and this. I mean, okay, so many people talk about it, but not very many people actually do it, or even if they try something, they come back and they get bored or things like that, right? So I am very keen to know how you made this transition. But before that, let me know a little bit about what your earlier, does it feel like the previous Janma or something? How?
Yes. So this is our second life. You're right.
Yeah.
So
just a little bit about your education and your...
Certainly. So see, both of us were actually from Andhra Pradesh, but neither of us have actually lived in Andhra ever in our lives, though that's where our roots are. I was born in Jabalpur, brought up in Calcutta. Nirmala was born in Avanigadda in Andhra and brought up in Kanpur. Before marriage, we got married in 1994. So this year we are going to celebrate our 30th marriage anniversary actually.
Congratulations.
So before that, I used, when I was living in Calcutta, I was brought up in Calcutta. My schooling, etc., was from Calcutta. My parents were based there. So I did my engineering in VIT Mesra in Ranchi, and after that I joined the steel sector. I was in Steel Authority of India Limited in Bokaro, where I worked for a little about 5 years. So I worked around 8 years in the steel industry. And I think I was still working in Bokaro when we had actually got married. And a bit about our career, basically. So we actually moved to Mumbai. In those days, it was still Bombay. So we moved to Bombay in 1998. And up and down, we've been living in Bombay. But I joined Castrol India at that time. I had the opportunity to travel around a lot, work in places like Calcutta, Chennai, London in the UK, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, Melbourne in Australia, before coming back home and spending the rest of my career in with Castrol in DT.
And Mumbai was our home.
And Mumbai was always
He used to always come back to Mumbai. Yeah.
Mumbai was always home to us, actually.
So I can notice that Mumbai was home, the way you're saying Mumbai was home, not home anymore.
Yeah. No, it is still somewhere in the corner of our heart. It is still there. Mumbai cannot go away, actually. So,
you can take a person out of Mumbai, but you cannot take Mumbai out of a person. Gotcha.
So I think how do we actually get here? I think the genesis of this whole story probably starts with our time that we spent in the UK, where we used to travel a lot in the UK, in Europe. And one of the things that in those days, this was way back in the early 2000s, right, 2005 to 2010. So in those days, we really enjoyed this concept of staying in beyond breakfast. These are the instead of staying commercial, we would stay in a bed, because it did two things for us. One, They were always less expensive than commercial hotels. They were more spacious, and you got a feel of the place that you were staying in, the families that you were staying with, and the places, the local culture, the local cuisine. You got a good flavor of that by staying in a bed and breakfast. So I think for us, that we were both of us are travel, very very excited about traveling, and I think that
Maybe from there we started dreaming actually. See, this kind of some setup should be there in India. At that time, homestays were not very popular
yeah,
here. So we used to just, we used to just dream about it, but we never thought that it will definitely come true. It just happened.
yeah.
Consciously, you'll be it. Not it. Good. This is amazing. So you said your travels triggered wanting to put out a homestay, but to imagine what you put together, many people dream up these things. Okay, many people say, okay, I want to travel the world, I want to go to farming, I want to teach in some college and children, and all of these are dreams. Okay, then finally for you to take that call, what was the trigger? I mean, why did you actually do it?
Good point. So I think there are a couple of things which happen in this journey. One is you need a trigger. You need a trigger for something to actually happen.
Right.
You need to recognize the moment that trigger actually happens. Because in our daily hustle, what happens is we often ignore that trigger. So you got to keep a watch for that. And the moment trigger happens, I'll tell you what my trigger was. That's where, and the other factor that helps you a lot is whatever said and done, however much effort you put in, a certain element of a luck element is always there. So you have to, pray for some good fortune, for some good luck. And if that happens, great. It's done. Hard work will get you there, but good luck is never something which isn't, which will stop you from achieving your dreams. So I think you should also be a little fortunate in what you try to do. Luckily for us, both came together. Of course, it's not that we went from one kind of a situation to another kind of situation overnight. We spent a long time over it. So let me tell you about the trigger. The trigger was basically I was a happy multinational executive, senior level executive, making a good salary and having a comfortable life. So we were in Mumbai. We were able to afford 2 lovely flats, staying in one, renting out the other, which was a good lifestyle. And daughter, we have only one daughter, and she was studying in school at that time, so everything was good. Then we had in corporate life, you always have these ups and downs, and we had a corporate restructuring which was happening. There were many restructurings. And at this particular stage of restructuring, I was in a position where I was, asked to perform a role which was not to my liking. So I had a choice. Either
That's around when we met. That was around the time we met.
Yes, exactly. So that is when, I told you about luck, right? A lot of things come together at the same time. So, so that was when the corporate restructuring was happening, and the role that I was being offered, I asked whether I was asked whether I would want to do that role. So I said, look, I can do this role for another year or so, but, it's not something that I'd be happy to do. So there was a, golden handshake proposal which was going on. And I thought, okay, should I consider it? Now, it's not an easy decision to make. I will say this. It's especially for someone who spent 25 years of his or her life in a corporate setup. That's a very big decision to take. And you need to have your family on your side. You need to have, a lot of things going well for you to be able to make that decision. And the big thing is you need to have a concrete action plan of what you're going to do next.
And also the timing.
Yeah.
Correct.
The timing was very right because of
perfect point.
our daughter has already got into NIFT, and so she has picked one line That was like,
Okay.
she's on her path, which has
Okay.
released us. Yeah. So
Yeah, exactly.
maybe that was also this thing. And the second thing I
Yep.
believe is a destiny. Maybe we were destined.
Destiny.
God wanted us to be here. So we left all our friends and came here. Now we are asking our friends to come here. They have come.
Correct.
Some of them have come. They have enjoyed. There is blessing.
Yeah.
So maybe that
Yes.
is what I believe. Maybe it was the path was destined. We were on this path, put on this path.
So yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very that's a very valid point actually. So uh, I could have continued in my corporate career for another 5 years, performing some role or the other at a senior level, but something which would not have made me feel happy about my own contribution versus taking the call of moving on, doing something different. And at that time, I still had a contract role in another company for about a couple of years, but the decision was already done that, we should start looking at investing in a property where we can actually set up a homestay. In fact, this is where I said, timing works because, as Nirmala also said, this is when we met you and you convinced us that you need to have a plan put together, a financial plan put together, which you happily did for us. And where you asked us all these questions and we went through these questions with you in terms of, it helped us also formalize what we were thinking about into something very tangible. I mean, it's still in our minds. So getting it onto a piece of paper, how are you going to fund it? How are you going to finance it? How are you going to run it? Is this the future for you? These are the questions which got answered after we spent, probably little more than a month going through the details with you and your team. That was also the time when, my brother, who happens to be an MBA in finance and runs, business service centers, happened to renew our portfolio. And just because I asked him to, and he said, why do you want to do this? So you got to, if this is you got this pot of gold from your, parting gifts from your organization, which you want to invest in, this property, why would you not put it in the, the stock market? And you'd make tons of money without any problems, actually. So why wouldn't you? So I think we answered that question. We said this, and he showed the ROI calculations and said, look, you're not going to make money out of this. So, okay, agreed. We may not make big money out of it, but we're going to get loads and loads of satisfaction and happiness about doing what we actually wanted to do. Something which really makes both of us happy and contented and satisfied. And I think that is something you just can't put a dollar value to it. It is intangible. You can't put a value to it.
Here I must add one more thing. My father and mother, we first showed this property to both parents, both set of parents, because we wanted, before we said yes, we wanted our parents to see. So, they are also. My father, after seeing everything, they liked the property and the place. They he called us, Himakar and Nirmala, come here and sit with me in his room. And then said, when you have so much of money, good amount of money or whatever, now you can nicely settle down and nicely relax, because what you're getting into is a very risky thing. It might work or it might not work because you don't belong to hospitality. Now you will be on the other side of the fence. Till now you have been receiving end. You have been treated like princes or whatever, wherever you went or traveled. But now you are at the giving end. So please think about before taking the final decision. So we had to convince our parents.
This was your part.
Yeah, we convinced. Whatever. It's not about the money. It is about the satisfaction and happiness that we want to go for it. So that is how we convinced them, and then we got into it.
And the other piece of luck here was that, before leaving Castrol, the last holiday that I had, the leave that I had to complete that. time before leaving, when I had residual leave left, which I had to complete, and we decided that we would take a break in Coorg. So, and fortune, showed us to, experience Coorg. And we fell in love with this
place.
Yeah, not this property because that we hadn't seen by that time, but we fell in love with Coorg because it had everything, and it was actually not so commercial as other places like Ooty or Shimla are, and very charming. Actually, remember, we still find it charming. 5 years since the first time we made the visit.
It was like a jewel which was like we kind of discovered, probably lesser known.
Yeah.
So maybe that also attracted us, because all Manali and all that Shimla and all, like, everyone has been there. But Coorg, everyone, all my friends keep asking, why Coorg? Why Madikari? How you came to know? So I said it was a gem which we discovered. Probably we wanted to share with you all. That was what.
Back they have this beautiful preservation idea, right? So they, when I visited, I came to understand they're very close to nature. They leave a part of their property, right? With,
it still feels untouched. Like, it is still natural. That is.
And they don't want trains to come there, right? So there's no rail to Coorg, right? So I mean,
Exactly. No railroad, no flights, no aircraft. So you have to only drive down from Bangalore or Mysore to get here. Yes.
I know.
So-
But I fell in love with Coorg too when I visited Coorg. You remember we exchanged notes of the homestay I stayed in when
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Superb. Okay, so
So-
this is
So that's what brought
yeah, that the trigger of the golden handshake and your daughter leaving home, and then you finding to fill in that gap, and then actually acting on it, right? And then in the process of convincing your parents, I'm sure you were convincing yourself, right? All those nagging doubts.
Yes.
Did that happen?
That was the difficult part, actually convincing parents. So it was the most difficult,
Yeah.
but we did.
And I think the thing is that, I should say this, that, and the reason I say this is no one in our family has a background in business. They've always been in the business of service, actually, like we had been till that time. So, given that, there was a risk factor around, can we actually succeed? And I think there is for anyone who's doing this kind of a consideration at this point in their lives. I think the trick is, you see so many commentaries, right? That, you should ask yourself the question, what do you really want to do in life and all. It's all correct. But then you should also convince yourself that there is a life outside of a life which you have been used to for the past 15, 20, 25, 30 years. There is a life. There are people living life. So you're not alone, or you're not going to be alone. So don't worry about it, and just take the step. That is the most important. Take that first step. I promise you, after you take that step, there'll be no looking back, actually.
And I loved what you said about money. You can invest stock market, return on investment, but you won't get the life that this is, right? But you can't eat all the money, right? You can't breathe in all the money like how you breathe in the fresh air there, right? That,
But having said that, I think Vora, the point is that, the discussion was done after we made all the provisions for our future life, etc. What is the investment that we need to do for our daughter, for her higher studies, for the next 20 years of our life, and you still need to have that conscious conversation around money. Money is not everything, but it is important. So, and once you are convinced that you will be able to take that step and go ahead, then you do it. Take that step.
I remember we running one scenario that said, what if this flops? What happens if this flops, right? If this doesn't take off, and then will you come on the road or will you be okay? So I remember that scenario building that
Exactly.
we did.
And
That was
you're
a
right.
very interesting way to look at. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
That was
I had
that was very.
and I had, other than consulting with you, I have also asked a couple of my, you know, I don't have many friends, but the friends that I have are people who are very, logical thinking and sane, and they give good advice, and they don't have friends. They're really close actually that way. So, and one of those people asked exactly this. One of those guys asked exactly the question you asked. Suppose this doesn't work, are you still okay with the property that you have? Would you continue to live in that? If the answer to that is yes, do it.
Mm.
So that's where
That that's the confidence, right? To take the risk. The money gives you the courage to take the risk, to take your chances in life, right? And
Right.
around the same time, you got this lovely property from somebody who wanted to sell also. So that is the luck part.
the third part.
That is what it's like worked out. Everything, like all pieces came together on that very time. So that is
Yeah.
what is destiny, maybe.
Exactly.
Everything came together. It was property was available. As we were able to buy it, all that.
Mm.
So that everything came
So
together.
we know now.
So
We know now what life was, and then from all your faces and your smiles, I can see you've settled down into a new normal. But tell me about the journey. What were challenges that you had? What were difficulties you felt when you came there? Tell me a little bit about how was that transition? I mean, I'm sure Mumbai doesn't leave you. So the comfort of an open life and, all of that. Tell me about that journey.
see, the first thing, of course, is that transitioning from an absolute ultra uber urban setup to a rural setup, but this is very, very rural. So it's not an easy choice. Actually,
You're going to show me around the place.
I will show you in a minute. So the thing is that we were convinced that we would be doing the right thing to do that. And if that meant facing some hardships, we were okay with that. I mean, we were convincing ourselves that we will be able to do it. We'll somehow manage it. And again, when you think of this from the outside, it looks very daunting. When you are in it, it's your everyday existence. So you will do it. Actually, that's the whole point. And then what the big change for us was this, a shift from an urban setup to a rural setup. Would we fit in? It's a state where we don't have roots. Would the people accept a local community? So these are all some of the things which kept us awake initially, or us concerned to us. But those were not showstoppers. The showstopper was already something which we had crossed, which was, can we do it all? So when we answered the question, yes, we will try and we can do it. That showstopper we had actually crossed. That barrier we crossed. So I think the challenges, of course, are that, like anything, things don't happen by themselves. We got to make them happen. So this is a property which is now 10 years old. We bought it 3 years ago. Almost actually, wow. This is the third anniversary today.
Yeah.
26th. No, yesterday. It was yesterday. 26th of March. It was the third anniversary of purchase of the property. Wow.
Anniversary of purchase of the property. 5 years. 3
Yeah,
years.
yes.
3
Yes,
years.
since we bought this.
So
So
it was all during COVID, right? So this was a
yeah. So this was just before the second wave actually hit. And as you just mentioned, we had a willing seller, a gentleman who we gelled with very well. And in fact, we were not in the market for looking at this property. In fact, Nirmala has gone on record to state that if you see this property, you will not see anything else. And it turned out to be right, because I had shortlisted about 5 or 6 properties, and we were looking at greenfield properties to build something. And she said, first see before you come here. So I spent some time, looked at 4 properties, and then let's go and see this. So after that, I stopped looking at other properties. She was absolutely right. इसको देख लिया तो that's you reach your destination kind of a thing. And the conversation worked out very well with the previous owner. They were good guys, and the best thing was that they helped us settle down and handheld us for a few months till we got the hang of things here. And even today, if there's a problem, I still go to him to advice. Not very far away from here. I still ask him for advice, and he doesn't charge me for it.
But okay, then a message for me. Sorry.
No. Sorry, I didn't mean it. But the thing is that, as with everything, there are challenges to what you go to achieve. I think this property, maintaining the property is a major challenge. And ensuring that our guests get a first class experience and feel good about staying here. Because we are not a resort, we are not a commercial hotel, we are a homestay. And the luxuries that you get in a resort or a hotel, you will not find them here. What you fill that with is a lot of warmth, good food, nice and clean rooms, and a great ambience. So most people ask me or ask both of us, what are the things that you can do out here? I say, listen, this is a place of do nothing. Okay? Come out, chill here.
And go for
Enjoy each other's company, have long conversations, or don't have conversations, just sit in peace, enjoy the peace. And then have a hot cup of coffee.
Plus, we encourage them for walks, long walks.
So I have to tell you that my family, I couldn't accompany them when they all came. I had my ticket booked now, by the way. The last minute I had back up, but the rest of my family, my cousins and my nephews and nieces, and my husband and my son, they all thoroughly enjoyed your property and the amazing food. They went around the place. So they have very, very fond memories of Coorg, thanks to your hospitality. So will you take me around your place? Because
Yes, of course.
Take me.
Start from here.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take you to the entrance a little later. But this is part of our property. 2 rooms out here we have. So this is kind of a large open space, and you can see the background out here, right? Hills in the distance, and that's the drawing room and the main hall of our property. We'll enter that in a second. And that, what you see up there, that happens to be where this is a place we built for ourselves, a small kind of a studio apartment where we live. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's on the first floor of the property. And I'll just take you around now to the other side. So here, this is the rear of the property. So this all the way up to the top, right to the back.
Wow.
That's around 300 feet so it's almost 400 feet all the way up. So that is, and the height also is, 400 feet. And it's, no, not the tree. It's the slope of a hill. So we go all the way up to the top of the hill. Yeah. I'll take you to the terrace and you can see that better from there actually. So
Sure.
the small door out here which opens up to a passageway. And I'll now take you around here.
Enter the property.
Yes, so I'll take you to the front of the property. Now it does, I think.
And we can see what it's showing.
So look at that.
Dying.
Okay. So that is where the town of Madikeri is, just behind that hill. And that is the direction of this is south-southwest. This is actually west. Unfortunately, it's a little cloudy today. Otherwise, you'd have seen a brilliant sunset.
Okay.
Right. And that is the main entrance, the main gate of our property. I'll just walk you down from there. And then you can see these rooms.
Upstairs. Oh, you're walking down.
Yeah, I'll walk you the reverse. So that's our gate.
That's your gate.
That's the main gate. And this is the parking area. That's our car. This is a coffee plant.
Oh, the flowers on the plant? Flowering season.
It's flowering season, and the fragrance is absolutely awesome. It is the fragrance of jasmine. And so we got one room here. We call it the owner's room. Generally, we do give it out to guests also, but at the moment it's closed, so I'll not go there. These are a couple of rooms here. They're set apart. And the advantage with this is if you stay here, if you're here in these rooms, there's a category called deluxe rooms.
Okay, so both the rooms get a balcony, the common balcony.
Yes, that's right. So it's like, it's actually ideal for a families, large families, because there are two rooms and there's an interconnecting door in between inside. And it's really good for them, actually. And from here, the view is again of the hills in the distance.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
And that's the main gate, main entrance, to our property. I'll head back there. Probably signal is dropping off here.
Yeah.
So we can head back there.
For the rest of the conversation.
Yeah.
I love the lighting in there. It's beautiful. And that.
Right. I got a lot of flowers.
Lot of people to take care of the place, right? So, I mean, how
Not
much
really a lot of people. We have a small team. We have a team of 4 people, and including a cook who lives on premises. And we manage with that, actually. And this is our reception area.
Okay.
That's our dining hall.
Okay.
And in the distance inside, that's the kitchen.
That's the kitchen. Okay.
That's
So you do house cooks, right? So
yes, we do. Yes, absolutely. And we have a small pantry out here.
Yes, can we access the kitchen?
No, they cannot. We make the food for them. It's all prepared by us, by our team. They don't have access to the kitchen unless, you have kids, very small children, and mothers want to prepare their, food for them. Otherwise, it's all us. We have a small library book collection out here.
Yeah.
A stereo gramophone.
It's time to come to food in a year.
If you ask, anytime is good, but July, mid-June to end June is probably really good because monsoons just start at that time, and they haven't caught on really. So beautiful weather, cloudy, misty. You get all of that actually. I'll just take it. Before we settle down, I'll just take it quickly. Yeah, these are 2 rooms which you saw from the outside. So let's quickly show you one room, just so that it's clear to you. Yeah. And yeah. So the rooms are, it's quite luxurious, quite comfortable, huge washrooms. Right. With every modern amenity that you need. And you can see
Another
a TV,
well appointed.
proper bed, a single bed, and that's the balcony. And the best thing for people who live here, who stay here, is the view from here.
Yeah, they open up to the balcony and have the hills for themselves. Yeah.
We got a room here.
Oh, look at that! My God. Just imagining myself sit here, gup with friends, you have a drink, have chai, play cards. My God, what all can you do here, man? See, it's so amazing. And kids can have fun running around. But this is safe, right? Those rails and all that.
Yeah. So very small kids, we tell them that they should be accompanied by adults, but otherwise it's quite safe.
Yeah. Beautiful. This is so good. amazing.
Our apartment. Let me put it that way.
Okay, that's your apartment. Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
And this is the rear of the property where it goes all the way to the top of the hill.
Okay.
And a little less than 3 acres actually in size.
Okay, okay.
Then
And there's walking place in and around the property also, right? I mean, there you have like coffee plantation.
so we are not a working coffee estate. We do have coffee. We have a lot of places to walk around here. So just as a, just to show you here, right here is the road which leads to our property. That's called Tantipa Road. That's the road.
Okay.
This from the main road, it's about 1 kilometer to here. And this road, rather 2 kilometers down the road, it goes all the way down to the river, to the bottom of the valley, where we have the headquarters of the Harangi River. So it's
there
very much.
There is a river flowing, is it? Okay, so you get access to the river.
Yes. We do have access. And it's a tributary to the Kaveri. It joins Kaveri near Mysore, actually.
Yeah.
And this walk is a lovely walk. You have coffee plantations on both sides of this road. And very pleasant, nice walk, less traffic, no noise, just you and nature. That's it.
Amazing. So it's like an unstructured walk. There's no organized trek and all that stuff.
No organized trek or anything. Yeah, correct. Pretty much do your own thing. Go as far as you want. Come back.
Yeah. Oh, wow, man. Good.
And this is where we were sitting when we started the conversation. We were sitting here, right? That's where we were sitting.
Okay. That little portico, kind of.
Yes, kind of. Yeah, it's open to the elements.
It's open to the elements. Yes.
Yeah, and that's where our staff lives. The staff quarters out there. The staff stays there.
So do parents come and
So that's
do parents come and live with you?
my parents live with us. Yeah, they do live with us.
So they live with. Okay.
Yeah,
And your daughter enjoy coming back home here? That's
she does, but she's a city girl. So on the 5th day of a holiday, she starts to, think about, what are we going to do next, kind of a thing. So it's a full scale job to keep her occupied when she comes vacations and holidays.
And how are friends and friends, family? How are they responding to this this transition that you have made?
So as I said, as Nebula will also say, a lot of surprise. And what do you do here? How do you live here? And amazement, actually. So when we tell them that we are having a very contented life, they generally are amazed with it.
There a sense of disbelief in a low way.
Well, so see, the thing is, disbelief is a very initial feeling that they have, but it goes away pretty fast because they actually see us living that life. So it can't be. It can't
They
be
have to
happening.
believe. They have to believe what they see, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
This is so amazing, Himakar and Nirmala, and hats off to you for making this decision and focusing on what's important in life. So I think one last question: how old were you when you made this transition, and does age play a part because you have to do all this walking up and down the hills and?
So I think I was 53 years old when I decided to do this, transition, and no regrets, absolutely no regrets. See, thing is that if you like an active life, this is still an active life because there is so much of open area out here. You can become a farmer. Karnataka is one of those few states which allows out of state people to own agricultural property and become a farmer if they want to. So yes, you can do that. You can, be part of the outdoor life out here. Or if you just want to stay indoors and run a homestay or run a business, that's something you can do. I still do a little bit of consulting on the side. And so, I'm not hampered by the fact that I'm away from a large city or anything. And if I do need to travel, I do travel. It's not a problem. It's a
And here I want to add one thing. In more than age, probably it is the our responsibilities. As I said, we have one daughter, so her schooling was done, and she already got into one of her favorite line. So which we were now we can do our own thing, what we like, what we enjoy. So maybe that was the reason which drove us here.
I certainly helped us in the decision making.
But we already discussed.
Yeah, and you substitute this empty nest feeling with something that's more, fun.
Yeah. See, I was told one of my cousin's sister, when her children went into took some lines and they went on to do something of their own. She went into depression because of loneliness or whatever. But that didn't happen to us because we had so much on our plate.
Right.
So maybe that is also one thing which we did. As I already said, the time
While record,
Yeah, and then just to add to that, one other point which I wanted to mention here, Bhuvana, was that this was a conscious decision we made. We were not forced into this kind of a decision at all. In fact, many people try to dissuade us from taking this call. But a couple of things is that I'm a bit of an introvert. I'm not very very effusive. I'm not a very boisterous person, and I don't have a whole lot of friends. So I had this apprehension whether I'd be able to manage a hospitality business, which is so customer facing, guest facing.
But that very thing of has turned out in his favor. Right? Because one ladies group has come in Diwali, last Diwali, and they said meeting Inka, after seeing Inka and we felt very, very safe and homely. So we're kind of feeling very good, homely. So that added to our side proudly.
okay, I mean, that's fine. You look perfectly all right. And I love it when you said, this whole myth that you have to be very outgoing and extroverted to succeed in a client-facing business. I think that's very, very overrated, right? People do like the...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And, you start to discover a little bit about your own self actually doing this kind of thing. I think every person needs to step out of their comfort area and experience life. The choice to come back to your comfort area is always there. You always have the comfort of, choice of coming back to your comfort area. So why would you not like to step out and see what life is like outside the comfort area? And I'm telling you, it's a whole new world all out there.
Yeah, I always keep saying, Gona, I wanted to say one thing. So every time when I meet the guests or see them, I keep saying that this putting smiles on your faces is our earning. It gives such a satisfaction more than earning or money or whatever. It's like when they feel happy staying here, when they go with content heart, it's really amazing, actually.
I'm sure. I mean, I have no doubt about that. And why I was asking you about that age question is that, what you can do at 53, you possibly can't do at 63. So it's important for you to make that decision when you're still healthy and active. Right?
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes. And it's very important to actually make that decision when you, as you rightly said, when you're hale and hearty and still able to do things that you wanted to do and which you're always afraid of.
Yeah. I know the people will retire. Okay. And then they sit and think, abhi kya karo? Right? What do I do with all my time? Right? And here you are saying that we need to really plan like a good 10 years in advance. What are you going to do with all the time, right? So this is more, so you're planning for a shocker of a transition, both the empty nesting, like she rightly mentioned, people go into depression if once the children leave, and especially if the moms have been wholly committed to taking care of the children. They feel very, very lonely and everything, right? And once this transition plus retirement also, when it becomes a question of what is my purpose in life and what's my identity, transitioning into something instead of retiring from a job or from a career, you're moving into something that you enjoy and you look forward to. I think like how Peter is talking, this is not retirement for you. This is just a change of career.
It's a change of career, exactly.
Yeah. Change of career from whatever oil and natural gas or something to hospitality, right?
Right. And there is no retirement as long as we decide to. In this, there is
no retirement, because retirement, I think, it's a faltu concept, and it's an industrial age concept. When you were using your brawn to do work and you grow old, you can't use it. But at something like 58, 60 is when you're at the peak of your wisdom, peak of your experiences, peak of your networking and social setup, and trying to walk away from it. I mean, I can't.
That's it.
Yeah, and that can push people out of of corporate life when they have to do it. Very unfortunate, and I am so glad to listen to your story. You've been, like I told you, you're the poster boy. I've been going around telling people, this is what he was and this is what he is. But now we also know the middle story, how we got there, right? You got all the blanks filled in, so it's amazing. And thank you so much for taking us through your property, taking us through your story, and this is really, really inspirational. And I'm glad to have witnessed this, along with you, and for whatever little bit of aid we could do here in the process. So thank you very much, Himakar and Nirmala, for joining us today. And I'm sure many, many people are going to see this podcast and enjoy it. And you should start talking about it, like do a TED talk or write a book. Yeah, will be inspiring.
Doing some blogging actually, but I don't post those blogs. They're still on WhatsApp and all. But maybe I'll share a couple of those with you, and I'll see how it goes on.
Why? I want a pleasure. Best kept secret, is it?
But the pleasure is all ours, bro. To have been on this journey with you, because I should actually say this. Both of us believe that our journey here started with the day we met you, or I met you in our office a little over 5.5 years ago, and started to have conversations on what we want to do in life, etc. So
I remember the 3 questions, right? So you were,
exactly.
Thank you
for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks.
And okay, now before we leave, people want to know where this place is. So can you quickly tell us in case they want to come, right? So
yes,
where
certainly.
How to find it?
So the name of this property is Copper Hill.
Upper Hill. Okay.
Yeah, and we won't tell you what Copper Hill means. People have to come here to find out what the reason behind the naming here. So once they come here, we definitely will tell them what it actually stands for. And it's a luxury homestay. We're located in a small village called Akandu, which is 8 kilometers from Madikeri town. And it's on the state highway from Madikeri to Somwarpet. So this part of Coorg is actually central to North Coorg. And a lot of coffee plantations. This is also kind of the place where you have the higher elevations of Coorg. And as you go further south, then you get to a bit of a valley kind of area in Virajpet and all those places. And then again, you have mountains as you move towards the Kerala border. So we are on the other side of the valley, actually.
So we just look for Copper Hill, right?
And we have our own website. That's www.copperhills.in. So
and we can find you on booking.com and make
we are on all the online platforms. Actually, yeah.
Fantastic. And we are all coming in any way. And
Absolutely. I mean, that goes without saying. We're waiting for you to come here.
There also call for next offsite at Madikeri. That's what we.
Yeah, perfect. Great. Look forward to hospitality. Enjoying your.
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Nitya. Thank you so much for your time and
Thank you. Bye bye.
thanks.